Looks like this guy missed the memo on not harming humans. Hey, what's happening, gamers? I'm Kwing, and welcome to my Let's Play channel. This is another LEGO Batman 3 character spotlight. Today is all about Cyborg Superman, aka Hank Henshaw. The fig is actually located in level 15 Breaking the Ice, if you're wondering, and is obtained through free play. Hank here will cost you 2.5 million studs though. That's insane. He has all of Superman's abilities, so Ice Breath, Heat Vision, you know, all that fun stuff. Plus he can use Grapple and Techno spots too. Cyborg Superman was originally DC's attempt at doing a real-life Fantastic Four. You know, because bathing in radiation doesn't normally give you superpowers. In Frank and his crew's case, well, it proved fatal. Feeling betrayed by LexCorp, they decide to attack after they had the accident in space, and then Superman swoops in to stop them. Surprisingly, they are doing pretty well against Supes with their newfound powers. That is, until the accident that created them starts to take its toll on them. Two crewmen perish in ways I really don't want to discuss, and Hank's wife Terry begins to phase into other dimensions, which is a problem. You know, if you want to be with her. After begging Superman to help him save Terry, Hank is able to save his bride, though at a cost of his physical body. Hank puts himself in a robot body and greets his wife, though, thinking everything is going to be awesome. Unfortunately, she jumps out of a window in response when she sees him. Hank then beams his mind into Superman's baby spaceship and disappears into the universe, becoming kind of like a Brainiac Light. Once he collected enough galaxy data, though, Hank started to think that Superman was the guy responsible for the accident that created the not-so-Fantastic Four. I'm totally gonna use that later. He lands on Warworld and meets Mongol and puts his revenge plan into action. Remember that big yellow guy? Yeah, it's that Green Lantern enemy. However, he doesn't realize that Superman has already fallen to Doomsday. With Superman gone, though, Hank gets this brilliant idea to pose as him and destroy Superman's reputation. He creates a body identical to Superman's and replaces the most damaged parts with cyborg components. Hank even fools Star Labs' Professor Hamilton into saying that this guy is the real Superman based on his Kryptonian DNA. He then destroys the Superman monument and exiles Doomsday to the dark side of the moon. After saving the president from an assassination attempt, Bill Clinton says that Cyborg Superman is the real deal. So Hank managed to fool the entire Earth, even Lois Lane, Superman's wife, by using the birthing matrix, which is Superman's ship, to say certain things that only Clark Kent would know, but putting a fuzzy spin on it because his memory just isn't right. And she falls for it. I mean, this guy is really evil in tricking Lois Lane. Though he isn't the only Superman at that time. See, during this time, DC was doing something called the Reign of the Supermen, which was a famous arc that involved what happened after Doomsday killed Superman. So Hank, Superboy, Man of Steel, and the Eradicator all show up at exactly the same time, claiming to be Superman reborn. And for a while, the public actually believes it, until they realize that Man of Steel is actually some dude in a suit, and Superboy is a, younger clone of Superman from Cadmus. But Cyborg and the Eradicator have the public fooled to the point where they have warring fanboy factions and different camps saying, this guy's the real Superman, no, this one is. So Cyborg then suggests the two should meet to bury the hatchet so their fans won't, destroy each other and like a little public PR goodness or whatever. Eradicator, or the last son of Krypton, agrees to meet Cyborg Superman, but doesn't realize he's walking into a trap. After luring the other Superman to Coast City, Cyborg attacks him and destroys him, and then Mongol destroys Coast City, the home of Hal Jordan. Cyborg Superman then goes and tells the public that the Eradicator, a former foe of Superman's by the way, from Krypton, annihilated the city and posed as him to gain your trust. And the public is outraged because, Coast City is gone and this guy lied to them. Superboy even buys the lie, and he's almost slain by Cyborg Superman and even joins him for a little bit until he's betrayed. He learns that Cyborg Superman, or Hank, plans on nuking Metropolis to turn it into another engine or Cyborg City. Superboy escapes and meets the real Superman, though he's depowered and wearing this black costume, which they call Solar Suit Superman, even though he has no powers. In the remains of Coast City, Green Lantern Hal Jordan fights Mongol to the death, out of revenge. Cyborg Superman launches the nuke at Metropolis anyway because he's a bad guy, and Eradicator returns only to give his life force to the real Kal-El, because Hank shoots them with this kryptonite beam, and by, absorbing Eradicator's, soul or something, Superman gets his powers back and defeats Hank Henshaw. though he isn't destroyed. When Hank actually put Doomsday on the moon, secretly, he installed a portion of his mind into the creature. Seconds before Superman vibrated and killed him, he moved the rest of his conscious into the trapped moon beast, which is actually pretty clever, but then again, Hank was a scientist, so yeah. Years later, when some stupid aliens brought Doomsday back to life, I know, right? Doomsday's spaceship then crash lands on Apocalypse and he starts redecorating, much to the cringe of Darkseid. Hank then used this opportunity to create a new body for himself, combining Superman and Apocalypse DNA into one. I think he uses like a parademon or like a Darkseid soldier, I don't know. Though when he fights Superman on Apocalypse, he's defeated by both Superman and Darkseid, who imprisons Henshaw. Eventually, for some reason, Darkseid lets Hank go, and he says, "You must never return to Apocalypse." And Hank is like, okay. He then joins up with a group of beings called the Tribunal, who wish to bring Superman to justice for crimes against Earth and the genocide of Coast City. He also kidnaps Supergirl, Connor, Steel, Centurion, which is a character I'm not going to get into, and other heroes in regards to the genocide against Coast City. Eventually, it's revealed that Cyborg Superman is actually the real killer of Coast City, and he's put into a black hole by the Tribunal. Some odd crossover with Marvel happens in Silver Surfer and Hal Jordan, but I'm not going to get into it because it's weird. But it has some relation to what happened to Cyborg Superman when he was in the black hole. After he's been returned to Earth, Hank learns that Superman has been reduced to nothing more than an energy being. Long story, but it was the mid-90s, stranger stuff happened, and Superman became red and blue energy. Also, when he's Clark Kent, he's vulnerable and actually mortal, so he can get killed, which is, different. Somehow his powers got all messed up, I don't really understand it. Oh, and Hank also becomes the leader of the Manhunters. No one escapes the Manhunters, the former Guardians of the Universe robot guys, yeah, them. Later, Hank actually tries to take over that bottled city of Kandor, that little thing in the Fortress of Solitude, and Superman is really ticked at him and puts him in the Phantom Zone. Hank escapes again and then messes with the Lantern Corps and gets reduced to just a floating head in space until the Sinestro Corps invasion of Oa. After being restored by Sinestro, who really doesn't trust the guy, he goes back to Earth with his Manhunters and destroys his wife's corpse in her grave because he's sick and tired of all these memories. Also, you need to learn that cyborgs aren't nice people. Minus Victor Stone. Anyway, he tells his Manhunters to attack the Justice League of America and he'll deal with Superman. He's actually doing pretty well against Superman and knocks him through the Statue of Liberty, though Supergirl and other heroes arrive and defeat Henshaw. For good? No, not really. For whatever reason, Hank decides to help destroy his new war world because the Lantern power battery is going out of control or something. Before Hank is destroyed for like the 50th time though, he actually thanks the Green Lantern Corps for finally destroying him. Hank actually survives until Superboy Prime went right through him and he's like, "You gotta be kidding me, I survived an explosion, but when this kid flies through me, that's it?" Whatever. Hank comes back yet again and threatens Papa Smurf, leader of the Guardians, so the Green Lanterns, and helps create the Alpha Lanterns, which is like this elite group of Green Lanterns. He also tries to merge with Oa's AI system, and his astral form is deleted by her. Unknown to even Papa Smurf, though, Henshaw lives inside of Oa's mainframe. How? Because of stuff. I don't even know how it's possible, though. It's like this guy can never die. Finally, on the Justice League satellite, after a battle with Doomsday, once that guy comes back, Cyborg Superman returns as actually Cyborg Superman and tries to destroy Doomsday, saying it's something that Superman could never achieve, and he's gonna get bragging rights for doing it. But actually, Doomsday, who's grown a little bit of an intelligence, merges with Hank and becomes Cyber Doomsday. Show of hands who saw this coming? I mean, really? Anyway, both Robot Doomsday and part of Henshaw are defeated, and then Doomsday's put back on the moon or something, or vaporized, I forget. And Henshaw's remains are imprisoned in Star Labs, where they remain as we go into Convergence. In the New 52, Cyborg Superman is actually a totally different guy from Krypton that survived thanks to the help of Brainiac. So now he's half Kryptonian, half cyborg. Oh, and Hank Henshaw, along with his wife, never became messed up because of the radiation bath in space. Let that be a lesson to you kids. Don't play with radiation in hopes you'll get superpowers, because you might just end up melting your face off, just like Hank. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with the lore of Cyborg Superman. Thanks so much for watching. In the comment section below, tell me who you'd like to see next. and I'll do my best to make it happen. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and add your favorites because it really does help me out a lot. Until we meet again, gamers, God bless and happy gaming. See ya!